What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. So, Philip Hrgovic calls out Joseph Parker. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that fight. Now, we know that what has to matter is that the Saudis have to want that fight. So, that being said, it's not like it's a guarantee. You know, it may happen. If they like that fight, hey, yeah, we can do that. You know, they may not. Now, we know that Zhang had a fight with Hrgovic, and most people feel like Zhang won. Now, they're trying, you know, Zhang is trying to he signed the contract, he's waiting for Wilder to sign. Now, if Wilder doesn't sign, it's possible, the Saudis might even, want Hrgovic versus Zhang in a rematch. Who knows, right? But as of now, Parker still has no opponent, which it's weird to me, like I said, that the guy who won in a dominating fashion your co-main event and you don't have a fight for him. You would think that, yeah, the main event and the co-main event stars would be the first two people that you would, let me make sure I try to get them both locked in. AJ and Ngannou was just like that, okay, we want that fight on there. I don't know if it was the Saudis' idea. Different promoters and different people can say things to influence that. Not even so much influence. I mean, you can say influence, but basically just what about this guy versus this guy? And they might, hey, I like that. Yes, let's make that happen. Either way, that would be a fight I wouldn't mind seeing. But for Parker to stay busy, AJ to stay busy, for all these guys that's been more active, that's what they need to do. Now, the one thing too, another thing that I like about these type of cards, if they're consistent, where they continue to put these type of cards on in the long haul, it can also impact the way people see the loser of a fight. Okay, because in boxing, you know how things go. You lose a fight, everybody want to write you off. But it can be the type of thing where the last time you was on this card, like Wilder, you lost. But what if they bring Wilder back on the next card and he wins? And the beauty of it is the point of making quality fights, the best fighting the best. So people will get accustomed to, okay, you win some, you lose some. He lost last time, but he won this time. Last time that guy won, this time he lost. MMA, K1, one fighting championships, different other forms of, combat sports. You see guys that they lose fights, but they win. And nobody writes them off because they lose. Boxing is still the only combat sport that has that mentality of, if you lose, you're garbage. And to be honest with you, when you see the less skillful of guys, you have to give yourself a reality check. Like, I asked someone a question off camera, and that person immediately saw my point. And I'm going to ask the same rhetorical question to you guys, just to make the point. Errol Spence, Julian Jackson, Deontay Wilder, John the Beast Mugabe. Okay. Just for example, if you was to put these guys in order of who's the best fighter out of those four, I'm willing to guarantee you, I know. Now, Deontay Wilder fans is the only exception. Real boxing fans that know boxing, that really understand skills and how to really rate a fighter, Wilder would come in last place every single time, outside of his fanboys. Okay? So my point is, for Julian Jackson, okay, for Errol Spence, for John the Beast Mugabe, to be rated higher than Wilder, and every one of them had a loss where they looked terrible, how could you not expect or be so shocked that at some point the same thing will happen to Deontay? When he was already being outboxed by lesser opponents, right? Low tier guys, but he would get the knockout. So if guys more skillful than him can go in the ring and have a disastrous fight, and they're fighting the top level guys, there's no shock. You understand? So it's only common sense that, yeah, as you step up in competition, you run that risk of that happening, and more than likely it will. Why? Because you don't have skills outside. You're one, and that's the thing. They're all one-dimensional. Now, Errol can box if he wants to. The problem with Errol is he's not consistent, and it's just in his nature that the second he gets hit, let's go, let's bang. And then it's like he forget he knows how to box. You understand what I mean? So for that to happen, it's like, okay, people always talk about how styles make fights. Well, here's the thing. You're in the position of, hey, listen, this is who we want you to fight. Let's make it. Let's go. Why not? The money's there, right? The people want to see it. It's an interesting fight. This is a huge card. What logical explanation would any fighter have to say, nah, I don't want that fight, right? So the best fighters, the sharpest, the smartest fighters are the ones who stay in shape all year long. So getting in fight shape, you're already that close. As opposed to, man, I'm just going to sit back, gain 30 pounds, and do nothing. Then when I feel like getting back in the ring, I'll take my time and then get back in the ring and don't look as good as I wanted to, and then say, well, you know, it's ring rust. I've been out the ring for a while. I want to stay busy. You know what I'm saying? I want to come right back 3 months from now, and I want to fight 3 or 4 times. You keep hearing the same thing, but then they don't do it, right? So this is a situation, like I said before, where this will keep them on their toes. Any fighter should think, damn, I can end up on one of these Saudi cards. You know, I mean, what extra, like for every incentive that you could actually have, the fact that you are a pro fighter, should be enough to make you take your job more seriously. But like I said, when these guys start living lavish, so to speak, they get to that point where they just, okay, I'm this, I'm that. I don't have to train like I used to. I'm good. When the time comes for me to fight, then I'll get back in the ring. You know, get back in the gym, and I'll be ready when I get in the ring, just to make the excuse about how ring rust set in. Now, that being said, when you start to see these guys, like I was saying, where they lose some, they win some, and you got to understand, there's a lot of fighters out there. So it's not like, you know, these cards are going to be every month. But if it's like every 3 months, as the time goes by, you'll say like, damn, the Saudis is putting these cards together fast. And not only that, you get a chance to get guys from all different weight classes, you know, to get them on here. And I think, too, a lot of the influence was to pretty much breathe some life into the heavyweight division. Because basically, if you're not talking about, you know, criticizing AJ, now he's starting to, you know, get the respect back. But if you're not criticizing AJ or just talking about, you know, Wilder and Tyson being untouchable as in the heavyweights, and well, Usyk is there as well, but he's somewhere between, you know, he's either number 1 or number 2 with Tyson, and then Wilder being number 3. And even with Wilder's inactivity, people still had him ranked at number 3. It's like, okay, nobody can beat him outside of Fury. Well, why is Usyk number 2 then? You know, all this nonsense. So fighters will have to do more than debate about who's better than who and to tell you who they'll knock out. It's like, okay, you'll knock him out, get in the ring and show us. Right? And the money's there. Like I said, everything that you need is there. So yeah, that's something that boxing needs. They're getting it right now. How far, how much detail comes along with this in the long run, we'll see. We'll see. But Philip Hrgovic versus Joseph Parker, and you know, Joseph Parker is the mandatory for the IBF. So the fact that he put that challenge out there, he gets it. He definitely gets it. He wants to be on this card. like I said, what fighter wouldn't? Real fighters, they want in. They want to be there. So there's no reason. Like, I know when, anything is big, anything is going to do good numbers, and people want to be a part of it. And that's from the participants, to the fans. Everybody wanted, you have people that just say, I just want to say I was there, whatever. But bottom line is they want to be there. And when you are getting paid big money, especially when you're getting paid more money than you normally would get, there's no reason to not want to be on it. So this is a situation where it's about money and legacy. As opposed to the usual, a guy fights on the PBC, Matchroom, ESPN, whatever, lose a fight, disappear for a year and a half, 2 years, come back, like I said, blame it on ring rust because the performance wasn't what it should have been. I think, like I said, when you have the opportunity to pick and choose, those are the fighters, more than likely, that will not think it's a big deal to be on a Saudi card. Why? Because they don't like the fact that you're giving them an opponent that I could lose to this guy. They don't want to say that. Yeah, I could lose to this guy. So what? You also may beat the guy. That's what it's about. So taking their comfort zone away. This is what real fighters do. And so, yeah, we'll see how things go. And that's, so if that was to happen, when you had Parker versus Hrgovic, being that Parker don't have an opponent as of right now, okay, well, that will be another solid fight. Then Parker wins. Well, that means he just took that mandatory spot away from Hrgovic. I mean, at least that's how it should be, because you know how boxing is. But that's how it should be. I don't see how you beat a guy and don't take their spot. So that would put Parker in a lovely position. So I'm waiting to see what Parker's going to say. He has no reason to turn the fight down. He wants a fight. He just did an interview and he doesn't have a fight. So if the Saudis want it, and that's the thing. So even if Parker says yes, and if I was like in Parker's shoes with that, I would suggest that Parker make it known, hey, let's make it happen. I want the fight. I'm in. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? If he beats Hrgovic, he becomes the mandatory. Well, Tyson Fury versus Usyk, they decide to exercise that rematch clause. Guess what? Then you have AJ versus Parker too. You understand what I'm saying? And that would be for the IBF title. So why would Parker not want it? Oh, hell yeah. Now you got a chance to get your revenge back against AJ. Should AJ beat Ngannou? And he should. He should. He really should. But at the end of the day, you're in a great position. And you're in a position, and think about it, you're in a great position after you were a sacrificial lamb that was basically supposed to go into the ring against Wilder and get decapitated. Right? But now look at you. So, and this is what I mean about opportunities, man. This is what I'm saying. Put up or shut up. Because I know, just like myself, all of you, or at least most of you, or some of you, because you got too many people they don't even realize that they've been victimized mentally. They've been institutionalized by the witness protection program of boxing. This is what boxing needs to do. We're putting up the money. We respect what you do. We like what you do. We want you on our card, and that's who we want you to fight. And no real fighter is going to sit there and say no. Hell yeah, let's get it. So, Zhang wants to fight. Now, the thing is, he wants AJ, but AJ's in a fight already. So scratch AJ off your list. So he signed to fight Wilder. Wilder's yet to respond. If Wilder doesn't want that smoke, then Zhang has to, okay, then who's next? And what I'm thinking about, I wouldn't mind seeing Hrgovic versus Parker. Zhang shouldn't mind a rematch with Hrgovic, and since Hrgovic got the victory, well, what if they was to say to Hrgovic, you know what, I hear your call out, But you know what? We tried to get Wilder and Zhang. Wilder didn't sign. You got a controversial decision over Zhang. We want to make that rematch. You know? Either way, then Hrgovic should, hey, yeah, no problem. Let's do it. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. The top fighters fighting the top fighters. You don't have to know who it is. All you need to know initially, like to, instead of them saying, okay, pick somebody. No, this is who we want. And the most they'll tell you, from what I understand, is, well, if you don't take it, then we'll offer this fight to such and such. So there's always a plan B. So the holdup with building a card can simply be because fighters are not signing contracts right away. They're trying to negotiate certain things. They're trying to make things happen. And I don't think any fighter or promoter want information to get out if they're trying to duck a fighter. Like, just say, for example, Zhang is already signed, right? They're waiting for Wilder. Let's say if Wilder's going, man, I don't really want to fight Zhang. Okay, why don't you want to fight Zhang? It's not like he can sit here and say, oh, there's better fighters than Zhang out there or bigger competition. No. So why don't you want to fight Zhang, right? I might lose. And that's going to mess my chances of going up. Could you give me somebody easier? Do you understand? So even when we see that as this situation, a fighter, and they wouldn't want that type of information to get out. So we don't know what's being talked about behind the scenes. You understand? So for me, to know that a fighter called me out, I don't have a fight. Let's go. We're not talking about I can understand. Look, let's say if they offered Wilder Derek Chisora and he accepted that fight, but he didn't want to fight Zhang. Would that not be a clear indication he's scared to fight Zhang? What do you gain by beating Derek Chisora? Oh, Derek Chisora's always in an exciting fight, and he always comes to fight, and, Deontay Wilder just defeated the gatekeeper. No. And we've seen Derek Chisora look horrible. On a fight-by-fight basis, we watch him decline in every single fight. So why in the hell would we want to see Wilder versus Chisora? So this is what I'm saying. If you take the fight with a lesser opponent, you have some explaining to do to the boxing public. Why did you not fight Zhang? So this is what I'm saying. The Saudis is going to test your heart, because when they come up, it'd be a great fight. This guy versus, hell yeah. You think the fighters would be like, hey, let's go. Warriors, right? That's what they call themselves. Or some of them do. What does a warrior, a real warrior, say? It will be an honor for me to share the ring with that guy. Not, I knock him out, man, 2-3 rounds. His style easy. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't see him the way y'all do. I'm, okay. But you are aware that this is one of the top guys. So put your ego aside, go in there and back it up. And again, I have to say it. Let's not forget the purpose of Joseph Parker being put in there with him, because Joseph Parker was said to be a shot fighter. He's not what he used to be. All of us can see Parker's not the same as he was. And that was deliberate. When that comment was made on his particular interview, and the guy goes, I think this version of Joseph Parker is better than what he was when he had the title. And I said, bullshit. There's no way Parker's better now than what he was. Absolutely not. And for anybody that's drinking that Kool-Aid, go back and look at Parker when he had the championship, even right before he got it. And you can see a complete difference in what Parker was versus what he is now. Complete difference. And this is what I'm saying, too. When Parker is matched up against somebody else that can box, just like when he was in there against Joe Joyce, who basically is just a one-dimensional freight train, the juggernaut. You see that his boxing skills, what you think Parker would be able to do, in fact, what Parker said he was going to do, he wasn't able to. Now compare even his movement to when he fought Dillian White, when he fought Andy Ruiz, when he fought Derek Chisora, compared to what he was doing against Joyce. And if you look at that and compares the performance against Wilder, Wilder gave him the least resistance. So he didn't have to do much against Wilder except just don't get careless and get caught with something unnecessary. So that is what I'm saying. I'm watching everything. His foot speed, his footwork, his hand speed, his head move. I'm watching everything. And I saw, even before the fight happened, you guys remember, I said, Joseph Parker should dominate Wilder. In all honesty, if Wilder wins, it's going to be the same thing. The same exact, he's getting dominated, he lands the right hand. He really should outbox Wilder. You know, so even if Wilder would have fought his usual style, people say, he always comes forward. No, he doesn't always come forward. No, Wilder stands there, he waits, he stays behind the jab, he'll jab to the body a little bit, jab up, and that's everything. The majority of the punches he throws is the jab, right? The jab is a very powerful weapon, okay? And I feel like the most important in your arsenal as far as setting everything else up. But that's the problem. He only sets it up with the right hand. So you know what's coming. Now, the point of being able fast enough to get out the way of the shot, or turn enough to where you don't get the full blow, or just eat the shot and keep coming, whichever one you're capable of doing, it always comes down to the same thing. So you know he can't outbox Parker. You know, and so, yeah, people imagine him going in there being this whirlwind and just he's all over Parker, fight's over. That's what people thought. You got to remember, the Saudis wanted AJ versus Wilder. Even the freaking guy talking to the MC for the night, he constantly, all of these people, AJ versus Wilder, AJ versus Wilder, AJ versus Wilder. Like, wait a minute. AJ's fighting Wallin. Okay, Wilder's fighting Parker. Why we keep talking about AJ versus Wilder? No, because they wanted to do what they put people in the ring that have some respect on their name, but at the same time, the anticipation was AJ's going to win, Wilder's going to win, mega fight, and we see what happened. Therefore, once again, always tell people, don't assume. Like you hear me saying, AJ should destroy Ngannou. He should. I'm not telling you he's going to. Because I don't know what a fighter's going to do come fight night. So if I go by your last performance especially, and yeah, and his experience and what he is, no way, fuck Ngannou should beat AJ. AJ should beat him. AJ should do to him what everybody thought Fury was going to do. AJ's, come on, he should go in there and destroy this guy. But, again, you know, my job is not to convince you who's going to win. We all have our opinions. Do I want to see AJ win? Absolutely. Do I truly think he can win? Absolutely. Do I think he should win? Absolutely. He definitely should. Now, that happens. What's next? Obviously, that IBF championship, whoever may be the mandatory, you know, we don't know that Hrgovic and Parker's going to actually have a fight. Like I said, the Saudis have to want it, but AJ is looking to go up. He's not looking to just have just any old fight. The Saudis know that. The Saudis don't want that. The Saudis want the biggest fights they can get, and we know that after this IBF fight, because I doubt very seriously that whoever wins between Usyk and Fury, that they're not going to exercise the rematch clause. So therefore, I believe you will see AJ fighting against Hrgovic, or if the Saudis actually make that fight happen with Parker and Hrgovic and Parker wins, then, hey, he loses his spot. That's the way it should be. So, I mean, yeah, that's the way it goes. And the funny thing, I said, what if Ngannou was to beat AJ? Now, all of a sudden, here's a guy at his third, after his second fight, being elevated up to fight for somebody for the IBF title. Jumping the line, right? Now, people can say, well, boy, if he beat AJ, then he earned it because he's that good. No, he didn't earn the position at all. No, he didn't. He was given. Given. Okay? That's like someone coming to literally come into the NBA, right? Have two good performances, and all of a sudden they get an all-star spot. Somebody literally, imagine that. Nah, that's not how that goes. Somebody coming to the NFL, literally have two good performances, and they're in the Pro Bowl, being picked over people that's been there grinding. No, that's not how that works. Again, now MMA is more known for guys like Brock Lesnar won his championship only on his third fight. Okay, and understand something. Brock has a wrestling background, and the MMA is made up of several disciplines. It's not just one thing. Well, at the end of the day, we know how he got that spot, his popularity from the WWE. So did he earn it? No, he was given it. That's what people don't understand. So you may have the ability to beat guys, top guys. You still didn't. You beat those guys, but the grind itself, no, you did not earn shit. You did not earn shit. Now, do I think that's gonna happen? No. No. Can it happen? Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I look forward more. I think it's more reality that AJ goes in there and mop the floor with Ngannou. Get him the fuck out of there. Like I said, put it into this circus shit, and then let boxing move on. But again, that's yet to be seen, and the Saudis have to want these fights, and I don't think that's a bad fight. But right now, to be honest with you, same thing. Wilder needs to sign his contract, and he needs to go earn his keep against Zhilei Zhang. You know, Parker needs an opponent. We don't know who else is going to be on the card. I've heard nothing else about anyone else. But I just think that was cool that Hrgovic put that challenge out there, because if the Saudis wasn't thinking about it, maybe they'll go, hey, okay, cool. Because, in fact, who exactly do they have in mind for Joseph Parker? And me just looking at who's who in boxing, and the fact that he just beat Wilder, you think it would be like an Andy Ruiz, you know, even a Daniel Dubois. And I think like one of those two would be more of what the Saudis would may look at. Frank Sanchez looked good on the card. They might even surprise us and throw him in there with Frank. Who knows? But, you know, I think Parker would rather fight somebody that has more of a reputation, you know. That way, whoever he fights, if he does win, it's, you know, and Frank Sanchez, y'all know how I feel about him as a fighter. You already know. I respect the guy's skills. The guy's a monster in there, okay? He's a beast in there. He's a real deal fighter in there, okay? Nobody's unbeatable, okay? But just saying, he still doesn't have the status to where if a top guy beats him, that they're going to go, you know, he defeated Frank Sanchez like they did something big. It's more like, well, this was a step up for him and he couldn't compete. You understand? You write him off, and you let's say if they put him in with Parker and Parker beats him. I really don't think Parker beats Sanchez though. I really don't. I don't think Joseph Parker beats Frank Sanchez. I think that's a fight that you would really, well, Frank, now people will go, damn. And you know they always want to compare performances. Frank is a completely different fighter than Joe Joyce. So you never know how a fight's going to go. But I would pick Frank Sanchez to beat Joseph Parker. I feel like not like Joseph Parker won't be competitive, but I feel like overall, because Parker has heart and Parker just going to keep coming. He's not going to give up. But I just feel like Frank Sanchez is very sharp. And I think like his boxing skills, he doesn't waste a lot of punches. And he's sharper. I think he's just sharper than Joseph Parker right now. And, you know, you never know what a person is doing in their training, what they're improving on. You know, but and this is why we want the fights. You know, because you look at things from a certain perspective. I look at both fighters and I just feel like right now Frank is sharper than Joseph Parker. And a guy like Frank Sanchez will show everybody exactly where you are. You understand what I'm saying? Because he can actually box. So Joseph Parker, who can box, will be put to the test. Who's the better boxer? Now, do I have to fight this guy to win? Do I have to box this guy to win? Do I have to do both? Do I have to give him different looks? And this is what I'm saying. Joseph Parker is not as quick on his feet as he used to be. He doesn't move out the way his shots the way he used to. I would not judge the way he fought Wilder on how he would fight Frank Sanchez because Wilder's very limited. So although everybody, every time they think he's about to throw the right hand, it's like, man, come on, nullify that shit. You know it's coming. And pretty much, Wilder does not put punches together. Frank Sanchez does. Now, Frank Sanchez wins. Haters are going to say, Joseph wasn't that good anyway. Right? See, he got lucky. How the hell he going to beat Wilder but not beat Frank? That's because they don't know shit about boxing. Plain and simple. I would pick Frank Sanchez over Wilder. And I think he knocked Wilder out. And the reason I think he knocks Wilder out is because he understands how to box. He knows what to look for. He can punch. And not only can he punch, but he puts punches together. Whereas Wilder will be uncomfortable. Parker would slip, throw the right hand. And then once he gets Wilder backing up, get him on the ropes, and he starts letting his hands go. Whereas Frank Sanchez will throw a 3-4 punch combination out of nowhere. Center of the ring, ropes, wherever. And pretty much you know what Wilder's going to throw. So Wilder risks getting rocked by coming in, just throwing a jab, right hand, or just the right hand. And, pretty much Frank has the hand speed to get to him. And the way Wilder defensively, he doesn't know how to parry shots. He doesn't do pull counters. Wilder, only thing he does, like if you watch him, he just goes back and then he'll just throw the right hand. You understand what I mean? But he's not cerebral. He doesn't set shit up to, set traps. And he just catch you slipping and that's what he's always done. And I think Frank is just too sharp for that. Now, the possibility of getting hit with a shot that can knock you out, it's always there, yes. But at the same time, even looking at the way Wilder's been so silent now, and the only thing we heard from him was a bunch of excuses as to what happened, and they didn't spend time talking about the fight itself, but AJ Hearn and all this blah, 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 and, he was happy I lost, all that nonsense, and, I don't, I got to get my killing instinct back. That's when a fighter is softened up inside. Again, we saw Roy Jones do the same thing. Roy Jones is winning all these fights. He dropped back down to 175 after fighting Ruiz. Dominated that fight and came in there against Tarver. He won the first fight. People for whatever reason don't even talk about it. They'll talk about the second fight. Or the third, but they don't talk about the fact that he won the first fight against Tarver. And you could see Roy Jones had to dig down. He was tired by the third round. So we know Roy Jones, one of the things he prided himself in was his conditioning. This is the first time you've never seen Roy Jones huffing and puffing in no third round. And it wasn't like Tarver was pushing a fast pace or something like that. But the weight coming from, back from 199 or whatever he was, back down to 175. He said, that bothered him. The weight drained him. Okay, whatever. But you see when he lost in the rematch, when him and Alton Murkison was sitting there and everything. No way, I don't know these guys. I don't know what they got to beat me with, so I can't get up for these guys. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just wake up and question yourself, like, why you doing this, And, everything other than, man, look, the better man won. That's all. I lost the fight. I'm going to watch this fight, see what I did wrong, and I'm back on it. Nah, he took that loss very hard and then came back against Glenn Johnson. And basically the thing with Roy was he was questioning himself. And this is the point. We witnessed him do it right there in that locker room. Now, if you're a Roy Jones fan and your emotions got in the way because, damn, man, he lost, and you sitting there sulking because he lost, well, whatever. But you're overlooking, okay? He's questioning himself right there in that locker room. Otherwise, just what I said is what he would have done. Any fighter. Look, I lost, that's all. I'm back on it, though. No, that's all. It's not the end of the world, man. That's all. Get back on it. It happens, okay? And guess what? People will tell you it happens. Now that you've experienced it, you're sitting there in the moment, it happened. Get back in the gym. That's all. Study the fight. Look at what you did wrong, okay? And in Roy's case, look at what you can't do anymore. What Roy didn't have anymore at that point. Roy's legs is what got him in and out of trouble. Okay, he knew how to get out. What navigated him through the trouble, should I say. And now he's more stationary. Okay, now what Roy finds out about himself, boxing fundamentals outside of athleticism and hand speed and power, because he put it together well, right? He doesn't have that ability. Parry shot, slip move. No, now he can't do that shit. His legs is not there to get him in and out. Now Roy could stand there and beat you to the punch. As soon as you lunge in, slip, move out the way, boom, catch you. No, now he has to do it more stationary. And what Roy didn't figure out was, if I'm using my jab and giving lateral movement, I don't have to dance. Now my jab needs to be my most important weapon. And if you look at Roy Jones' whole career, Roy would beat people with a lunging left hook, a straight right hand without even throwing a jab. And as impressive as it was during his younger years, it came back to haunt him as he got older. Now those basic fundamentals that you don't really focus on because you never needed them. Okay. So, anyway, y'all, tell me what y'all think about Hrgovic versus Joseph Parker. Do y'all think that fight makes the card? You think that's something the Saudis want? And is that a fight y'all like to see? Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.